Hey, I'm Tariq Melrose. Today's briefing raised one exact important question. Do they think we weren't going to fact check? Because we did, and it's not looking good. I've got the timeline, the truth, and the twisted logic they hoped you would slip past. Subscribe and stay tuned. This is the breakdown they never expected you to hear.
Deporting U.S. citizen kids with cancer and innocent immigrants, the GOP is dismantling law and humanity before our eyes. Stay tuned for the next clip where we expose more Republican cruelty and fight for real justice.
You're back.
Gentleman yields. I now recognize Mr. Magaziner for 5 minutes.
Madam Secretary, on April 24th, a woman in Louisiana was deported along with her 7-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son, both of whom were U.S. citizens. The 4-year-old son had stage 4 cancer. Now, you just stated under oath that the mother consented to having her U.S. citizen children removed. But I have spoken with the attorney for that U.S. citizen child with stage 4 cancer. She has also made numerous statements to the press in which she stated unequivocally that at no time did the mother consent to her U.S. citizen children being removed. What evidence do you have to support your claim that she did consent?
Congressman, we followed the same policies and procedures.
What evidence do you have?
And we
what
have
evidence do you have?
We have documentation
that she.
that
what documentation do you have that mother consented?
We'll get that to you, sir. I don't have it with me.
Please do. I understand it's hard to keep them all straight because you've deported multiple U.S. citizen children, but I'm asking specifically about the 4-year-old with cancer who was deported on April 25th. For the record, that family was also not given access to legal counsel before they were deported, even though their lawyer was in the same building at the time. I'm holding in my hands here a document called ICE Directive 11064, Interests of Non-Citizen Parents and Legal Guardians of Minor Children. This is the policy for how ICE agents should handle situations like this. It states unequivocally that parents and legal guardians should have the ability to make alternative care arrangements for minor children prior to their arrest or detention, and that ICE must afford parents the opportunity to consult with legal counsel. So, did the ICE agents working on this case who deported this 4-year-old with cancer of their own volition fail to follow ICE policies, or were they directed to by your office or anyone else in DHS leadership?
Sir, this mother chose to keep her child with her.
You have not produced any evidence to say so, but I'm asking again, have you directed DHS officers to ignore this policy?
It's very different than the previous administration. The previous administration
on March 15th, reclaiming my time, on March 15th, your department sent 3 airplanes to El Salvador. Those planes carried approximately 261 individuals who were imprisoned upon arrival. Did you personally review and approve the names of those 261 individuals before they were sent?
Sir, we have deported and sent home
did you review the names of those individuals?
And we have individuals that have
why won't you answer the question?
Within the Department of
Are you
Homeland
aware
Security.
of whether those 261 individuals were given the opportunity to speak with a lawyer or appear before a judge before they were put on those planes? Yes or no?
Sir, every single individual followed the exact same process.
They were not all given the opportunity to appear before a judge or speak with a lawyer. On April 7th, the Supreme Court ruled that detainees must have an opportunity to have a hearing before they are deported. Are you familiar with the April 7th Supreme Court ruling?
I am.
Can you assure us that in the future you will abide by that Supreme Court ruling to provide detainees with a hearing before they are deported?
Following all judges' orders, yes, sir.
I have a photograph here of André Hernandez Romero, a gay makeup artist from Venezuela. He fled Venezuela fearing gang violence because of his opposition to the Maduro dictatorship and his sexual orientation. He presented himself at a port of entry and requested asylum. His claim was found to be credible, and he was placed in detention to await a full hearing. But he never received a full hearing because you put him on one of those planes to El Salvador, where he still is today. Listen to me. He had no criminal record in the United States or in any other country. He did not even enter the country illegally. He presented at a port of entry. He tried to do it the legal way, and to this date, the only evidence your department has presented to justify his imprisonment is that he had 2 tattoos, one that said mom and one that said dad. Do you have any other evidence to present for why this individual should be locked up in El Salvador?
Sir, every case is used
you have
with
any-
the same protocols and the same processes and inputs.
Do you have any
that
evidence
that
other than the
law enforcement
tattoos that say
officers
mom
use in
or
criminal
dad for why
cases?
this
So it's
individual
not
should be
just
locked
on
up?
tattoos. It's who they're affiliated with, their communication.
You have not
who they're
presented
spending
any
time
other
with,
evidence,
criminal
nor has your
activities.
department.
The cases
Reclaiming
go
my time,
exactly the
during
same
your
as it was
confirmation
when
hearing,
other-
you said your focus would be on deporting immigrants who have been convicted of crimes and those who have received removal orders. But that is not what you have been doing. Instead, you have been deporting children with cancer, children who are U.S. citizens, a gay makeup artist who committed no crime and didn't even enter the country illegally. You have been sloppy. Your department has been sloppy. And instead of focusing on real criminals, you have allowed innocent children to be deported while you fly around the country playing dress up for the cameras. Instead of enforcing the laws, you have repeatedly broken them. You need to change course immediately before more innocent people are hurt on your watch.
Gentleman's time has expired. I now recognize.
All right, let's break this down. Because what we just heard in that congressional exchange isn't just another embarrassing moment for Republican immigration policy, it's a damning indictment of the cruelty, incompetence, and moral bankruptcy at the heart of the GOP's approach to human beings they don't consider worthy of compassion. We are talking about a Department of Homeland Security official under questioning, being confronted with the cold, brutal fact that on April 24th in Louisiana, a mother was deported, not alone, not just as a statistic in some spreadsheet, but with her 2 U.S. citizen children. Let me say that again. 2 U.S. citizen kids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, the younger of whom is battling stage 4 cancer. You would think if the GOP actually meant a word of their endless family values talking points, that the last thing they would do is rip a dying child away from any chance at continued treatment in the country of his citizenship. But here's the thing, they didn't just do it, they tried to justify it. And when pressed on what evidence they had that the mother consented to having her children deported, the DHS official gave us the most pathetic, evasive, bureaucratic non-answer you can imagine. First, we followed the same policies and procedures. Translation, we're hiding behind process because we know the morality of our actions won't survive the light of day. Second, we'll get that to you, sir. I don't have it with me. Right. You don't have it with you because it doesn't exist, because there is no credible evidence that this mother, facing the prospect of losing her son to cancer, signed off on being thrown out of the country with him. Then, Representative Seth Magaziner hits them with the ICE Directive 11,064, the actual written policy stating that parents must be allowed to make alternative care arrangements for minor children, must have access to legal counsel, and must have the chance to protect their kids before deportation. And the DHS witness just dances around it. No accountability, no answer. And it gets worse. This wasn't some isolated mistake. On March 15th, DHS sent 3 planes to El Salvador with 261 people who, and let's be crystal clear about this, were imprisoned upon arrival. Were they given hearings? In many cases, no. Were they given access to lawyers? Again, no. That's not just sloppy. That's not just cruel. That's illegal under the April 7th Supreme Court ruling that detainees must be granted a hearing before deportation. And yet, here we are, watching the same officials say they'll follow the law while doing exactly the opposite. And then there's the case of Andre Hernandez Romero, a gay makeup artist from Venezuela who did everything by the book. He fled a violent regime, presented himself at a U.S. port of entry, requested asylum, had his claim deemed credible, and was still locked up and shipped off to El Salvador. What was the damning evidence against him? Tattoos, not gang tattoos, not violent imagery. One said mom, one said dad. That's it. That's what the Department of Homeland Security used to rip a man from safety and dump him back into danger. If you're not furious yet, you're not paying attention. This is the Republican playbook in action. Wrap cruelty in law and order language. Pretend that bureaucracy justifies inhumanity. Call yourself the party of family values while deporting U.S. citizen children, ignoring court orders, and treating asylum seekers as disposable. And let's be real here. If the GOP actually believed in protecting Americans, they wouldn't be targeting children with cancer, LGBTQ asylum seekers, and people with no criminal record. They'd be focusing on actual threats. But that doesn't fit the fear-mongering narrative they need to keep their base riled up. They talk about border security as if it's some sacred cause. But when you strip away the talking points, what you find is an administration and a party more interested in publicity stunts than real solutions. They want the photo ops in tactical gear. They want the tough guy headlines. But what they're delivering is chaos, lawlessness, and immeasurable human suffering. Here's the bottom line. This is not about national security. This is about scapegoating. It's about turning human beings into props in a political theater designed to distract you from the fact that Republicans have no plan for healthcare, no plan for education, no plan for the economy, just endless cruelty to the most vulnerable people they can find. We cannot let this stand. We cannot normalize the idea that it's okay to deport sick American children, that it's fine to ignore Supreme Court rulings, that tattoos saying mom and dad are grounds for denying asylum. We have to call this what it is, a moral disgrace and a violation of the values we claim to stand for as a nation. And to those officials hiding behind policies and procedures, hear this: the world is watching, history is recording, and you will not be remembered for your excuses. You will be remembered for the human lives you destroyed when you had the power to do the right thing. This isn't complicated. We either believe in the rule of law and in human dignity, or we don't. And right now, the Republican Party, under the banner of Trump-era cruelty, is proving every single day that they don't. It's on us to make sure voters know this before November. It's on us to make sure every American understands that this is not normal and it's not acceptable. And it's on us to elect leaders who will restore compassion, decency, and basic humanity to our immigration system. Because if deporting a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer doesn't make you rethink your vote, I don't know what will. This has been Tariq Melrose Vlogs, where we break down the bull, expose the hypocrisy, and fight for a democracy that works for all of us. If you believe in protecting families, defending the vulnerable, and holding power to account, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. We're not done fighting, and with your help, we never will be.